All right, guys, well, I'm back today with something that I should have tried a long time ago. A very high value handgun option that really brings a lot to the table at an affordable price point. We are looking at the Beretta APX A1 full-size tactical in the FDE. This one packs a ton of specs and features into a really nice performing handgun, all at a very affordable price. Now, I also want to give a huge shout out to AAC for providing the ammo to help make this video. Without their support, it'd be really difficult to continue to produce reviews like this. I ran a lot of their 115 grain, and then I switched over to their 147 grain with a can, and it functioned great across the board. And we'll talk more about the reliability of this handgun in the reliability section. Now, this is very impressive, especially at the price point. Now, I've been seeing APXs pop up for a while, and I've always liked the looks of them, and I've always loved shooting Beretta pistols, but I've never tried one. I actually put in their T&E request to Beretta, and these guys were nice enough to send this version out in my request, and I really like this one in particular because of some of the added features over the traditional APX, but a lot of this is going to carry over to their base models as well. Let's start off with the basics. It is a 9mm handgun, and it fits a form of a more traditional striker-fired handgun with some very nice ergonomics and adjustability in the grip. And let's start talking about that right off the bat. The grip feels very comfortable, and Beretta knows what they're doing when it comes to ergonomics. They've been doing it for a while. They give you a couple of interchangeable back straps on the back, and the texturing is fairly nice, and you do have some fairly aggressive texturing up at the front. You also have a swell down at the bottom to kind of lock your hand into place. I wear size large mechanics gloves, and I feel like you could have a hand size smaller than me and definitely larger because of the additional back straps. The other cool thing about this is the controls are very nicely placed from the grip. It's easy to drop those mags, which again we'll talk about in a second, but you don't have to worry about accidentally bumping the mag release. It also cuts down in the grip right here, allowing your thumb to just kind of contour over very nicely and then roll over to that protected button to drop the mags without breaking your grip. Similarly, your thumb has easy access to that slide lock and slide release, making reloads a breeze, and it's also ambi on both sides. You can drop that slide. Also, the takedown lever is very easy to access, and it stays pretty much out of the way when you're riding your hands. Now, your hand can ride on it, and it might have just a touch of a high spot right there, but if you put your thumb just to the side of it, like I think most people would do, or even down a little bit further, it rides very nicely, and again, the controls stay out of the way. So 10 out of 10 on the grip and feel. Moving into the trigger guard, you do have an undercut built into the grip itself, allowing you to get a good purchase and really get a high hold on this to mitigate that recoil impulse, and it does a good job. Flat face trigger guard, pick rail at the top. Everything else about the lower is pretty much standard. You do have a standard size mag well, no super massive flares or anything right there, but the mags do insert free, and they come to a nice taper, so you don't really need that. And then when the mags are in, you do have a spot to grip them and rip them out if you were to have a malfunction. I never had a malfunction, so I wouldn't know what that feels like with this particular Beretta. Now, this one ships with 3 17-round mags with +3 or +4 extension plates on there. And having 3 mags in the box is really nice, again, especially for the price point. I believe a lot of these are well under $5. Yeah, for this version, under $5. It's a steal. Moving along to the slide itself, really nice cocking serrations on the Beretta. The spring tension on the slide is fairly stout, so if you are suffering from arthritis or something like that and you have trouble racking 9mm slides, this one feels like a traditional standard sprung 9mm slide, so nothing to write home about there. This one, though, is really cool because it's got suppressor height night sights, and it's got an adapter plate at the top that you can swap out for whatever plate you want. I actually selected the RMR plate, and I'm running one of the new primary arms, RMR Footprint SLX Optics, and it mates up perfectly. Now, the adapter plate does make it stick up a little bit higher, so it's a little bit difficult to co-witness, but overall not that big of a deal. It runs really well. Threaded barrel on the end, 1/2x28. I added a can. We'll talk about that in the reliability section. Don't worry, that's coming up pretty quick. I just wanted to go over all the basic specs and features of this handgun. The finish is holding up very nicely, no issues with that. And again, nothing is walk loose, come apart. I mean, I don't expect that on a Beretta, but I do have to mention that for the review. Now let's talk about the reliability and shootability down at the range. And as I indicated earlier, the reliability was 100% functional with standard ball 115 grain, 124, and 147 with no issues whatsoever. It ran hollow points, but I have to do some more extensive testing on hollow points for this particular handgun, but I have no doubt that it'll run those. It just chugged along nicely. Through the brass in a nice, neat pow. The ejection pattern was very consistent, which I love to see on a handgun like this. Even with different types of ammo, the ejection pattern shifted, but was still very consistent across the board, so very nice on Beretta. This was accurate. I did not shoot it at 100 yards or rest it up to, but it was plenty accurate. Accurate as any other Beretta I've shot. Does a good job in that category. So it's accurate. It's reliable. Now, how does it shoot? How does it feel? And it's surprisingly smooth. Very easy to keep on target. Recoil impulse is very minimal for a 9mm. I would say the recoil impulse feels less than what you would consider like a traditional Glock or Glock clone. It feels a little bit smoother than that. Now, the trigger on this guy has that trigger safety built in, smooth take up. You hit a wall, and then you have a touch of sponge and a brake. The reset is short, audible, and tactile. Sponge, then brake. Not the best trigger in the world, not the worst trigger in the world. Combat style 9mm trigger. Will it do the job? Yes. Will it win any awards? No. But it works, and that's what I'm looking for in this handgun. The optics mount up rock solid, lock in good. Suppressor height night sights are very nice. Threaded barrel 5x28, 321 round mags in the box. Great ergonomics, super great reliability with a wide variety of ammo. And then when you add a can on the end, it still works great. I tried 3 different cans with 147 and 115 without a single failure. A lot of times pistols can be picky with cans, and you may have to play with ammo or try different things. Not this Beretta, it just worked. Locked back, functioned great, no issues whatsoever. I am very impressed at the quality and performance of this Beretta. And again, I'm pretty sad that I haven't tried the APX lineup sooner. I really like it. I think you might too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you're a Beretta guy, and let me know if you're a Beretta APX1 guy. A huge shout out to Beretta for sending this out to try, and a huge shout out to AAC for the ammo support. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.